Well, good evening, everybody. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness One, and welcome to the Saturday Murdathon. Um, I don't know why that's in the picture, but it is. That's my other microphone. Well, that'll have to do for now. Yep, try that. Friendly neighborhood kitten's been in here messing around and kind of got things all discombobulated, but that's par for the course. Anyway, what I'm going to discuss tonight is primarily the Delphi case and some elements that have to do with it. First of all, we had the probable cause affidavit that came out um, earlier this week. And in this, why is this compressed? Well, for some reason, I'm having, whoa, having a bit of difficulty here, so we're going to do it this way. Because it was taking up the whole screen and now it's just kind of shrunk, which is not what I wanted, but not sure why it did that. So bear with me. Seems to be this. Oh, I know what it is. There. Well, good evening, ladies. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the affidavit and uh, point out a few things. And so let me get started here. Now, for anyone that may not be overly familiar, the Delphi murder case had to do with the murder of these two teenage girls. And the man in the middle, Richard Allen, has been arrested and charged with their murder. And the court ordered the release of the probable cause affidavit that was filed in order for them to get permission from the judge to arrest Mr. Allen. And basically, we start off with the language you normally hear in these things. I, the undersigned affiant, subject to the following information pursuant to, and the laws mentioned here, as a sworn affiant, setting forth the facts and circumstances known to law enforcement of Carroll County as the basis for probable cause to arrest without a warrant or to establish probable cause for issuance of an arrest warrant for the above named defendant. The facts and circumstances described below would be sufficient basis for a person of reasonable caution and prudence to believe that the accused has committed or attempted to commit the crime offenses described, and that if arrested without a warrant, such would be authorized under IC 35-33-1-1. That the hearsay statements of witnesses contained herein are considered reliable and credible due to the witness's personal knowledge and or corroborated by the totality of the circumstances. And it reads as follows: that on February 14, 2017, victim 1 and victim 2 were found deceased in the woods approximately 2 miles northeast of Annan Park. And I do not. Okay, here we go. Their bodies were located in the north side of the Deer Creek. Um, the Deer Creek is at the bottom left-hand corner of the image, and this is facing north. So I don't, didn't have time to make a detailed map of the area and to label each and everything. There's a number of blogs out there who have done that. At the time, the Monon Bridge Trail was approximately 1 mile gravel trail terminating at the Monon High Bridge. The Monon Trail Bridge is an abandoned railroad trestle approximately 0.02 miles long, spanning the Deer Creek and Deer Creek Valley on the southeast end of the trail. Approximately 0.7 miles northwest on the trail from the northern edge of the Monon High Bridge is the Freedom Bridge. Now, let's see. The Freedom Bridge is a little hard to see, and it's I can't put my pointer on it, but where you see the big 4-lane highway, there's a highlight that was put there for the Freedom Bridge. It's a little green locator thing. So that'll give you some idea of where that is. And this is a pedestrian bridge spanning State Route 25. And Route 25 is the 4-lane highway that is prominent in the picture. Approximately 300 feet west of Freedom Bridge was a former railroad overpass over Old State 25, known as County 300 North. The trail terminates just west of the former railroad overpass. The majority of the trail is in a wooded area with a steep embankment on the south side of the trail. The entirety of the trail and location of the girls' bodies were located in Carroll County, Indiana. Through interviews, reviews of electronic records, and review of video at the Hoosier Harvest Store, investigators believe that victim 1 and victim 2 were dropped off across from the Mears Farm at 1:45 p.m. on February 13, 2017 by Redacted. The Mears Farm is located on the north side of County Road 300 North, near an entrance to the trails. A video from victim 2's phone shows that at 2:13 p.m., victim 1 and victim 2 encountered a male suspect on the northeast portion of the Monon High Bridge, The male ordered the guys down the hill. No witnesses saw them after this time. No outgoing communications were found on victim 2's phone after this time. Their bodies were discovered on February 14, 2017. The video recorded from victim 2's phone shows victim 1 walking southeast on the Monon High Bridge while a male suspect wearing a dark jacket and jeans walks behind her. As the male subject approaches victim 1 and victim 2, one of the victims mentions gun. Near the end of the video, a male is seen telling the girls' guys down the hill. The girls then proceed down the hill and the video ends. A still photograph taken from the video and the guys down the hill audio was subsequently released to the public to assist investigators in identifying the male. Victim 1 and victim 2's death were ruled as homicides. Close were found in the Deer Creek belonging to victim 1 and victim 2, south of where their bodies were located. There was also a .40 caliber unspent round less than 2 feet away from victim 2's body, between victim 1 and victim 2's body. The round was spent and had extraction marks on it, which means that it got ejected from the pistol. Interviews were conducted with 3 juveniles, names retracted. They advised they were on the Monon Bridge Trail on February 13th, 2017. They advised they were walking on the trail towards Freedom Bridge to go home when they encountered a male walking from Freedom Bridge towards the Monon High Bridge. Blank described male as kind of creepy and advised he was wearing light blue jeans, a really light blue jacket, and his hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he didn't not really show his face. She advised the jacket was a duck canvas type jacket. Redacted advised she said hi to the male, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black and had something covering his mouth. She described him as not very tall with a bigger build. She said he was not bigger than 5'10". Advised that he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. She stated he had his hands in his pockets. Blank showed investigators photographs she took on her phone while she was walking on the trail that day. The photographs included a photo of the Monon High Bridge taken at 12:43 p.m. and another one taken at 1:26 p.m. of the bench east of the Freedom Bridge. Blank advised after she took the photo of the bench, they started walking back toward Freedom Bridge. She advised that was when they encountered the man who matched the description of the photograph taken from victim 2's video. Blank described the man she encountered on the trail as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. She advised the jacket had a collar and that he had his hood up from the clothing underneath his jacket. She advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She advised her head came up to approximately his shoulder. She advised said hi to the man, and he said nothing back. She stated he was walking like a purpose, like he knew where he was going. She stated he had his hands in his pockets and kept his head down. She advised she did not get a good look at his face, but believed him to be a white male. The girls advised after encountering the male that they continued their walk across the Freedom Bridge over Old State Road 25. Investigators spoke with Redacted, who advised she was on the trails from February 13th, 2017. Video from the Hoosier Harv store captured Redacted vehicle traveling eastbound at 1:46 p.m. towards the entrance across from the Mears farm. Redacted advised she saw 4 female juveniles walking on the bridge over Old State Road 25 as she was driving underneath on her way to park. Redacted advised there were no other cars parked across in the Mears farm when she parked. She advised she walked to the Monon High Bridge and observed a male matching one from the victim 2's video. She described the male she saw as a white male wearing blue jeans and a blue jacket. She advised he was standing on the first platform of the Monon High Bridge, approximately 50 feet from her. She advised she turned around at the bridge and continued to walk. She advised Approximately halfway between the bridge and the parking area across from the Mears farm, she passed two girls walking towards the Monon High Bridge. She advised that she believed the girls were victim 1 and victim 2. Video from the Hoosier Harbor store shows that at 1:49 p.m., a white car matching vehicle traveling away from the entrance across from the Mears farm. Redacted advised she finished her walk and saw no other adults other than the male on the bridge. Her vehicle is seen in the Harbor store video at 2:14 p.m., leaving westbound from the trails. Redacted advised that when she was leaving, she noted a vehicle was parked in an odd manner at the old Child Protective Services building. She said it was not odd for vehicles to be parked there, but noticed it was odd because of the manner it was parked, backed in near the building. Investigators received a tip from Redacted in which he stated he was on his way to Delphi on State Road 25 around 2:10 p.m. on February 13, 2017. He observed a purple PT Cruiser or small SUV type vehicle parked on the south side of the old CPS building. He stated it appeared as though it was backed in as to conceal the license plate of the vehicle. Apparently, Indiana does not have front license plates. Both drew diagrams of where they saw the vehicle parked, and their diagrams generally matched as to the area the vehicle was parked and the manner in which it was parked. Redacted advised he remembers seeing a smaller, dark-colored car parked at this old CPS building. He described it as possibly being a smart car. Redacted vehicle is seen leaving at 2:28 p.m. on the Hoosier Harvester store video. Investigators spoke with Redacted, who stated she was traveling east on 300 North on February 13, 2012, and observed a male subject walking west on the north side of 300 North away from the Monon High Bridge. Redacted advised that the male subject was wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans and was muddy and bloody. Now, this detail is very important because this is the first time in this affidavit that we hear that witnesses or a witness saw that the male was muddy and bloody. She further stated that it appeared he had gotten into a fight. Investigators were able to determine from watching the video from the Hoosier Harbor store that Redacted was traveling on CR 300 North at approximately 3:57 p.m. Now, this would have been within an hour of the stated murders by law enforcement of the two teenagers when they believed that the teenagers were murdered. Through interviews, electronic data, photographs, and video from the Hoosier Harbor store, investigators determined that there were other people on the trail that day after 2:13 p.m. Those people were interviewed, and none of those individuals encountered the male subject referred above, witnessed by the juvenile girls Redacted and Redacted. Further, none of those individuals witnessed victim 1 and victim 2. Investigators reviewing prior tips encountered a tip narrative from an officer who interviewed Richard M. Allen in 2017. Now, this is a narrative that's received a lot of attention on the various social media boards, and it also has been referred to by the Defense Council. Mr. Allen was on the trail between 1330 and 1530. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building and walked to the new Freedom Bridge. While at the new Freedom Bridge, he saw three females. He noted one was taller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember description, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anybody, although he stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked. He stated there were vehicles at the High Bridge trail and, however, did not pay attention to them. He did not take any photos or videos. Excuse me. And they've gone through the listings of the identifiers for his phone. Potential follow-up information. Who were the three girls walking in the area of Freedom Bridge? Investigators believe Mr. Allen was referring to the former Child Protective Services building, as there was not a Farm Bureau building in the area, nor had there been. Investigators believe the females he saw included redacted and redacted due to the time they were leaving the trail. At this time, he reported getting to the trail and the descriptions the three girls gave. Investigators discovered Richard Allen owned two vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a 2006 gray Ford 500. Investigators observed a vehicle that resembled Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the Hoosier Harvest Store video at 1:27 p.m. Traveling westbound on CR 300 North in front of the Hoosier Harvest Store, which coincided with his statement that he arrived around 1:30 p.m. at the trails. Investigators note witnesses described the vehicle parked at the former Child Protective Services building as a PT Cruiser, small SUV, or smart car. Investigators believe those descriptions are similar in nature to a 2016 Ford Focus. Now, what is important here is to keep track of his statement regarding when he was at this location and then analyze it through the picture or this affidavit. On October 13th, 2022, Richard Allen was interviewed again by investigators. He advised he was on the trails February 13th, 2017. He stated he saw juvenile girls on the trails east of Freedom Bridge and that he went onto the Monon High Bridge. Richard Allen first stated he went onto the Monon High Bridge to watch the fish. Later in his statement, he said he walked out to the first platform on the bridge. He stated he then walked back, sat on a bench on the trail, and then left. He stated he parked his car on the side of an old building. He told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans, a blue or black Carhartt, I don't know how to pronounce that, Carhartt jacket with a hood. I've seen those, I think. He advised he may have been wearing some type of head covering as well. He further claimed he saw no one else except for the juvenile girls he saw east of the Freedom Bridge. He told investigators that he owns firearms and they are at his home. Richard Allen's wife, Kathy Allen, also spoke to investigators. She confirmed that Richard did have knives at the residence, guns and knives at the residence. She stated that Richard still owns a blue Carhartt jacket. On October 13th, 2022, investigators executed a search warrant of Richard Allen's residence at 1967 North Whiteman Drive, Delphi, Carroll County, Indiana. Among other items found, including Among other items, officers located jackets, boots, knives, and firearms. Um, okay, including a Sig Sauer Model P 226 40 caliber pistol with serial number uniform 625627. Now, in case anybody's wondering, I am not looking at the chat, so if you're talking to me, I'm not seeing you at the moment. I'm trying to keep from getting overly distracted. But what I need to do at this point is I gotta see. Okay, here we go. I forgot to put this slide in here. Uh, this is the model gun that they're talking about. This is a very popular pistol. Between October 14th and October 19th, 2022, the Indiana State Police performed an analysis on Allen's Sig Sauer Model P226. The laboratory performed a physical examination and classification of the firearm, function test, barrel and overall length measurement, test firing, ammunition component characterization, microscopic comparison, and NIBIN. The laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet of victim two's body had been cycled through Richard M. Allen's Sig Sauer Model P226. The laboratory remarked, an identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and a sufficient agreement of individual marks. Sufficient agreement is related to the significant duplication of random striated impressed marks as evidenced by the correspondence of a pattern or combination of patterns of surface contours. The interpretation of identification is subjective in nature and based on relevant scientific research and the reporting examiners' training and experience. Now, this is quite important to this probable cause affidavit. Investigators then ran the firearm and found that the firearm was purchased by Richard Allen in 2001. Richard Allen voluntarily came into the Indiana State Police Post on October 26, 2022. He spoke with investigators and stated he never allowed anyone to borrow or use the Sig Sauer Model P226 firearm. When asked about the unspent bullet, he did not have an explanation of why the bullet was found between the bodies of victim 1 and victim 2. He again admitted he was on the trail, but denied knowing victim 1 or victim 2 and denied any involvement in their murders. Now, according to other social media websites, he in fact knew the girls as the manager of the CVS pharmacy store. Now, Delphi, Indiana is a very small town, and his residence and the store are located fairly close to the bridge and all the areas in question here. So it's kind of odd that he would claim not to know the victims. But, that's going to have to come there. Well, this will come out in court if there's any evidence to the contrary. Carroll County's Sheriff's Department detective, redacted, has been part of the investigation since it started in 2017. He has had an opportunity to review and examine evidence gathered in this investigation. Detective Redacted, along with other investigators, believe the evidence gathered shows Richard Allen is the male suspect seen on the video from victim two's phone, who forced the victims down the hill. Further, that the victims were forced down the hill by Richard Allen and led to the location where they were murdered. Through the statements and photographs of the juvenile females and the statement of redacted were at the southeast edge of the trail at 12:43 p.m. east of Freedom Bridge at 1:26 p.m. and walked across the former railroad overpass over Old State 25 after 1:26 p.m. and before 1:46 p.m. They walked the entirety of the trail and observed only one person, an adult male. Blank vehicle is seen on Hoovershire Harvester video at 1:46 p.m. and leaving at 12:14 p.m. And she stated she only saw one adult male. Redacted described the male in similar manners, wearing similar clothing, leading investigators to believe all four saw the same male individual. Investigators believe the male observed by Redacted is the same male depicted in the video from victim two's phone due to descriptions of the male by the four females matching the male in the video. Furthermore, victim two's video was taken at 2:13 p.m. and Redacted only saw one male while she was on the trail from approximately 1:46 p.m. to 2:14 p.m. Investigators believe Richard Allen was the male seen by Redacted and the male seen in victim two's video. Richard Allen told investigators he was on the trail from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. that day. Video from Hoosier Harvester store shows a vehicle that matched the description of Richard Allen's vehicle passing at 1:27 p.m. towards the former CPS building. The clothing he told investigators he was wearing matched the clothing of male in victim two's video and the clothing descriptions provided by Redacted. A vehicle matching the description of his 2016 Ford Focus is seen at or around 2:10 p.m., 2:14 p.m., and 2:28 p.m. at the former CPS building. Through his own admissions, Richard Allen walked the trails and eventually hiked to the Monon High Bridge and walked out onto the Monon High Bridge. A male subject matching Richard Allen's description was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. Investigators identified other vehicles on the trail at CR 300 North between 2:30 p.m. and 4:11 p.m. None of those individuals saw a male subject matching the description of Richard Allen on the trail. Furthermore, Richard Allen stated that he only saw three girls on the trail who investigators believe to be redacted, redacted, and redacted. Investigators believe that Richard Allen was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. because he was in the woods with victim 1 and victim 2. An unspent 40 caliber round between the bodies of victim 1 and victim 2 was forensically determined to have been cycled through Richard Allen's Sig Sauer Model P226. The Sig Sauer Model P226 was found at Richard Allen's residence and he admitted to owning it. Investigators were able to determine that he had owned it since 2001. Richard Allen stated that he had not been on that property where the unspent round was found, that he did not know the property owner, and that he has no explanation as to why a round cycled through his firearm would be at that location. Furthermore, he stated he never allowed anyone to use or borrow the Sig Sauer P226. Investigators that believe that after the victims were murdered, Richard Allen returned to his vehicle by walking down CR 300 North. Investigators believe he was seen by Redacted walking back to his vehicle on CR 300 North with clothes that were muddy and bloody. Redacted, along with the investigators, believe the statements made by the witnesses because the statements corroborate the timeline of the death of the two victims as well as coincide with the admissions made by Richard Allen. Further, the accounts relayed by Redacted and Redacted are similar in nature to and timestamps on the photographs taken by Redacted corresponded to the times the juvenile female said they were on the trail and saw the male individual. And that basically is the end of this. There's supposed to be page 8, but it didn't come up on my files. Well, I'm going to go over and see what you guys have been yammering about. Whew. Yeah, I am just reading from the PC and command post. You have been declared as a fraud by the Telegram site that is allegedly owned by Timothy Charles Homestead. So just to put everybody on record, there is a declaration that there are imposters in here. Now, well, you're a fraud no matter where you are. You're more than likely the troll over on Big Shoe. But at any rate, you are a fraud. And again, we have the trolls coming in here, which is no surprise. But that's one of the reasons I didn't look at the chat, is because I didn't want to get distracted by the morons that are coming in here and trolling this channel. Now, let me go back over here because now there's something interesting about this gun. And anyone that's been following Timmy is going to know where I'm going next with this. Timmy made a statement on Telegram in regards to this firearm. And what I'm going to do is and basically he said, I can confirm the Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter has received the information I submitted regarding a Sig Sauer 40 caliber firearm as related to the Delphi murder case. I read the probable cause affidavit for the arrest of Richard Allen in the Delphi case referred to a Sig Sauer model P226 40 caliber handgun. Per my investigative journalism on the Delphi murders, I have unique information pertaining to and or the Sig Sauer 226. Now, as of this broadcast, I have not been able to find what his theory is regarding this firearm. Now, if we go back to the statement here, and you go up, let me keep going. Yeah. On October 13th, investigators tracked the gun using the serial number. Allen admitted to owning the gun. There's a record of his purchase of the gun in 2001, and through a thorough forensic examination, they were able to match the bullet that was not spent to that firearm. Now, what I am curious about, if a gun was used in the murder of the girls, which I have a feeling it was not, there would have been spent casings, because this is a semi-automatic pistol, and the rounds would be expelled from the pistol in order to get to the new bullet to be fired in the next sequence. So what we have is a firearm that's been identified, and right down to the striations and the ownership. Now, interesting thing about Mr. Homseth and whoever is writing on his blog. It has been stated, we have a fake Punisher for Truth in here. The real Punisher for Truth has stated that you are a fake. So, now you might want to go over to Telegram, and they're probably over there chatting away. And in case anybody's interested, this is now being live streamed on Twitch. But, Mr. Homseth has made a declaration that I find rather interesting. And let me go over to his blog. And no, it might be on his BitChute. Let me go to his BitChute. Because it's not. Well, it's not on his BitChute either. But Tim Homseth, somewhere, or someone writing for him, fake Punisher for Truth. People of all ages are over there. I'm using it as a live stream source. I don't interact with teenagers over there. All right. But anyway, somewhere Tim Homseth is declaring that Richard Allen has been framed. and that it's all part of some big conspiracy theory. So Tim Holmseth is once again barging in to another high profile case and is obstructing it. And he has declared that um, he has contacted the defense attorney and the law enforcement, and that there's this big plot to frame this guy. And all this nonsense is coming from someone that uh, goes by PWS Builder, which is um, another troll account, and further proof that Tim Holmseth is not even writing on his own blog. That they have um, he's not writing his own material. He's got pictures. He's got sorry about I'm having a going through things here, but he is being ghost written by other people. I don't know, 10 Republic, maybe she's electrocuting him. Maybe it's that chip in her head, it's zapping her or whatever. But, rather than sit back and let law enforcement do its work and let the defense counsel do their work, Holmseth um, is barging into the case. Now, let me see if I can find something else here. Okay, I just got to go through. Now, the attorney uh, put out a press release, and basically it reads as follows. As Rick Allen's attorneys, we have received multiple requests from local and national media for interviews and comments since the unsealing of the probable cause affidavit. It would be virtually impossible to comply with these requests and continue to focus on the merits of Rick's defense. So, right there, the defense counsel is saying that if Tim Holmseth attempted to contact them, they aren't going to get back to him because they're too busy trying to defend their client. And so they said, therefore, we offer out these thoughts. We do not want to try this case in the media, and we intend to adhere to the Indiana rules of professional conduct that provide guidance on pre-trial publicity. However, the police and prosecutors have conducted many press conferences over the 5+ years of this investigation and following our client's arrest. On the other hand, Rick's ability to assert his innocence has been reduced to only one short post-hearing press conference. Accordingly, we felt it appropriate, necessary, and within the bounds of our rules of professional conduct to make a few comments concerning the probable cause affidavit and Rick's innocence. Rick is a 50-year-old man who has never been arrested nor accused of any crime in his entire life. He is innocent and completely confused as to why he has been charged with these crimes. The police did not contact Rick after Libby German and Abby Williams went missing. Rather, Rick contacted the police and voluntarily discussed being on the trail that day. Like many people in Delphi, Rick wanted to help in any way he could. Rick contacted the police to let them know he had walked on the trail that day, as he often did. Without Rick coming forward, the police probably would not have had any way of knowing that he was on the trail that day. Rick volunteered to meet with a conservation officer outside the local grocery store to offer up details of his trip to the trail on the day in question. Rick tried to assist with the investigation and told police he did recall seeing 3 younger girls on the trail that day. His contact with the girls was brief and of little significance. Rick does not recall if this interaction with the conservation officer was tape recorded, but he believes the conservation officer scribbled notes on a notepad as Rick spoke to him. After Rick shared his information with law enforcement officials, he went back to his job at the local CBS and did not hear from the police for more than 5 years. The next time Rick heard from the police was October 22nd. This is approximately 22 weeks before a contested sheriff's election and within days of a federal lawsuit filed against the Carroll County Sheriff's Office by its former second in command, Michael Thomas. In the lawsuit, Thomas claims that he, Thomas, had made suggestions and offered assistance in the investigation of the high profile child homicide investigation, but those suggestions and offers were rejected by the sheriff. Thomas further claimed that the sheriff and others in the department feared the disagreements with Thomas would become publicized as a result of the political campaign for sheriff. Thomas claims that he was ultimately demoted and replaced by Tony Liggett, who later that year won the 2022 election for sheriff. Furthermore, Thomas claims he was also removed from high-profile cases. And, basically, as we go down through all this, it gives, the defense is kind of letting everybody in on what they plan on doing in the defense. Now, there have been other developments. There is going to be a preliminary hearing in January, and one of the things, what's going to happen there is they are going to try and get Mr. Allen out on bail, which is highly unlikely. And no, I didn't know we were neighbors. And also, the defense wants a change of venue. They want to move the case out of the county, and it is unknown where they would want to try the case. Now, we had Casey Anthony, their attorneys tried to get the case moved out of Orange County. The judge denied that. What they did do is something a little bit unique. They went over to St. Petersburg, Florida, picked the jury from there, and brought them back to Orlando, sequestered the jury, tried the case, and Casey Anthony was acquitted. Now, so far, there has not been the national publicity with this case that was the case with Casey Anthony. within the state of Indiana and around the surrounding area, yes, there's a lot of publicity, but nationally, there is not. So it's a possibility that they may not get the change of venue that they would like. Now, one can assume that Richard Allen is innocent until proven guilty. We don't know what the state has as far as any other evidence. Specifics as to how the girls were murdered has not come out. Now, what may happen is as these things progress, like they usually do, we may get a trickling of information coming out as to how they died. There have been um, discussions that they were killed with a knife, that they were put in uh, posed positions when they were undressed, and that there's been speculation that there has been some kind of a ritual. We don't know any of that. But, what is clear is that it's going to take, uh, okay, this is what I was looking for. I don't know why this didn't show up. Now, over on Tim Holmseth's joke of a blog, it was written today. Emerging evidence stemming from the facts sworn out in a civil RICO complaint filed in Tennessee, along with a press release by Allen's attorneys, has created the escapable question that is rapidly moving into the Delphi murder case narrative. Was Richard Allen straight up framed? So this is the narrative we're going to hear out of the tin hats going forward. They've decided they're going to barge into the case. They're going to have all the speculation going on. We're going to see all the hashtags go up. And it's going to be the tin hat crap all over again. And they're actually coming into my chat. They've taken and copied the chat over there. They are hell bent on having some interest in what of it? Punisher for Truth, you're not welcome in here. Why do you keep coming in here? You know, go over there and defend the pedophile, the alleged pedophile. That's what you people are doing. You know, the only thing you can do is you can make fun of my looks. And this is, but, it's the silliness you get out of these people. But, I see Astro's back doing her thing over there. They might. Now, Indianapolis is a big metropolis. It's fairly close to Delphi, so they could go to Indianapolis and get people from up there. It's hard to say. Yeah, I've got the typical big gut. I'm not going to be. I don't know what you call it. I don't. Yeah, Alex the kook. She can't stay in her own lane. But in another, yeah. Another development in the Neely Blanchard case, a witness has been removed from the witness list by the defense. I'm not sure who that individual is. Um, but that's just the um, little bit of information that's trickling out of the uh, court docket as they progress through. So, but yeah, I got myself a big gut. I'm not, I'm no Brad Pitt, that's for sure. I'm not even close. So, but the trial for Neely Petrie Blanchard is likely going to be sometime the 20th of February. So, when there's that to look forward to. And got some strange people over there. It's amazing. But anyhow, uh, I would guess at this point, there's really not much to talk about anymore. We have a court case coming up in Ohio in a little while. As I've mentioned before, less than, say, this is the third, so it's, a little less than 2 weeks, I believe, or close to it. And we're going to find out if they are going to show up or not. Uh, it's my opinion they're not going to show up. They're two cowards. And they'll get adjudicated in absentia. And there are other things going on that I can't really talk about, but it's interesting stuff going on. Hmm. So, oh, the fake command post is in here. This is probably uh, Astro because they have stated that they do not log into or comment on here. It's around the 15th, I believe. I would have to. I'm gonna try and check and see if I can get information on that because it was, I forgot to. I'm looking through my record see if I can find the date. Um, but it's mid month. Hmm. Yeah, that's funny news. But according to Alex over on Telegram, that's an impersonator. Okay. Uh, Upside down. Do you happen to know when the next court date is in the Ohio case? That people want to know, and I completely for. Trying to do something here. Well, I don't know what it is. It took the whole thing down. I had that somewhere. Well, Laurie, they continued it until mid-December, and I can't remember the date, but it's pretty close because I believe the 17th is on a Saturday, so that wouldn't work. Yeah, I think it's on a Thursday. Um, Okay, it's the 17th of November, so that is 2 weeks from now. Well, it's less than 2 weeks from now, or December. Hold on, wrong month. Having a brain fart here. Okay, now let's see what we got. Okay, yeah, it's December 15th because I remember it's supposed to be a Thursday, so that's 11 days from now. And it's a running bet that Timmy and Randy are not going to show up at their um uh, right now, I believe that he's updated it and they were now up to 26 does plus the Levi and Alex are named specifically, and it's for $40 million. Now, what's if I had a lengthy debate over in Telegram with some of the know-it-alls over there, and they said, "Well, why don't I sue? I can collect," and they went on and on and on. Well, Alex Jones uh, was hit with $1.5 billion judgment, and guess what he did? He filed bankruptcy. And unless the families that won the lawsuit can figure something out, they're not going to get a dime because he filed Chapter 11, personal bankruptcy. And he's rummaged the money around so nobody can touch it. So we're going to have the same thing happen here. This is why I can't sue anybody because you can't, you can't get something from nothing. So the list has not been published. Now, what Timmy has failed to let people know is that in that particular lawsuit that he filed, the judge turned it down. He says he's got 30 days to correct the mess he made out of it, or it's going to be dismissed. And we're a couple of weeks from that as well. I think it's like December 14th. If he doesn't correct the lawsuit, it gets thrown out. The judges dismiss it, and the judge gave him a good tongue lashing um, in his decision, saying that the whole thing was nonsense. Well, we'll see. Well, see, the only reason they do this is they like to get this stuff in the courts, and then they can say, "Oh, look what I'm doing! I'm doing this big RICO thing, crimes against humanity, blah 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 blah," and the lawsuit is worthless. There is no crimes against humanity. It's a vexatious lawsuit with no merit. Um, Legally, it's known as a SLAPP lawsuit, which is basically to try and get people to quit talking about them. They want to be able to go online, accuse us all of these um, things, and um, not have any accountability. They don't want to be confronted. They want to be able to say that I look like Wiley Bulger and that I somehow at Delphi and that Fireman John was there and so on and so forth. Yet we can't say anything. We are not allowed to say anything. And so they say, since you are saying that what we are saying is not true, we're going to sue you. So well, I'd appreciate it because if I can find someone that can take my case, it would have to be pro bono because I ain't got a dime to my name. Uh, and if anything, it would be for everyone because he's been attacking people since day one. The first one that he went after was Kim Picasio, and then from there it's just been this long um, bit of nonsense. Okay, court. I've just had something come over the wire. There's a claim that uh, Barron Trump, the son of Donald J. Trump, has been involved in an accident. Um, so I'm gonna track that, see what's going on, because I should have looked at the source of that information that came over the wire. See what we got. Okay, so far, this may be a false rumor. I haven't seen anything on Barron Trump. So the Barron Trump accident is unverified at this time. Yeah, I just think somebody it's a tin hat rumor that just popped up. I'm rummaging. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. So that's another one of these weird rumors going around. Yeah, I think the kid's 16 now. I'm not sure. Hey, these people don't even. Huh. Oh well. Yeah, it's just more garbage. I should have, considering the source. Yeah, and what's funny, they don't even read their own. Well, I think, oh, it got deleted. That's why. Yeah, they had these stupid things that go up and then they take them right back down again. No, it was a troll. And it's you can't rely on anything from Telegram. But it's stupidity. Boy, that disappeared quick. Not this thing. Yeah, it's more fake news from the wacky world. Yeah, it's spam. 10 Republic. I should have known because of who put it up. It's another one of these fake accounts that spam all the time. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna call it. I appreciate you people stopping in. Um, things went a little bit better tonight, but as things develop, I'll keep everybody posted, and we'll see what the next week brings. We'll see if there's any more information that comes out about anything. So everybody have a good weekend. Um, what's left of it. Good Sunday and all that. Um, and I'll see you on social media. I got a couple things in the works, and if I'm able to get things done, I'll let you know. Cause I'm busy, busy, busy. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share, and stay tuned. And until then, have a good one.